Hey everybody, it's Karen Channing. Welcome back to Crooked Lines. I guess that's our dance. The Crooked Lines dance is something like this. Welcome back to Crooked Lines. On this channel, we use, yes, crooked lines to play with processing, to look at what's going on in our lives through the method of simple creativity. So let's get right into it today. Today we're going to do our inmoji and our outmoji, which I will describe to you in just a moment, on a note card. Okay, I'm going to use the desk cam today. So if you are joining us and ready to play along, grab something. You can grab a note card, a notebook, the back of an envelope, scrap of paper, whatever you have handy. Okay, and the other tools that I'm bringing today, I do have a notebook, a blank notebook, and I'm going to use a pen, just my favorite writing pen, and also my markers. You don't need anything fancy. You can use the stub of a pencil if you want. This is what I'm using today. So the emoji, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a simple emoji of how we're feeling right now. If you go back through this channel, you'll find emojis in almost every video. Maybe all of them. I'm not sure. We call this the Doodle data collection. We're going to take some data of how do I feel right now and how do I feel at the end of what I'm up to. So let's get started. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to change to the desk cam. I'm getting good at this. All right, here's our desk cam. Okay, so Inmoji, how I'm feeling at the beginning of starting this activity today. So rather than saying how I feel and getting in my head about it, I'm more going to be embodied. Let's see. How do I feel starting this? I'm feeling some sensations here, kind of in my torso. Um, Emotionally, I'm really glad that I'm sitting down to make a video, as I always am. Um, and maybe like neutral to nervous, just slightly, maybe a little tiny bit nervous and neutral. It's a Sunday. We're having really hot weather right now. Yeah, what a cute emoji. All right, I'm gonna make a little note on that. Emoji. So, what does your emoji look like? What do you look like? What do you feel like as you're starting this video? All right, I'm gonna come back to my own face, my other face here for a moment. Okay, hi guys. All right, so here's what's on my mind today. I have been considering this word leverage for the last few years, and when I usually look at it, I'm usually looking at it in terms of my career, which is also what's happening today. I'm thinking about the week I have coming up. I have what occurs as a lot going on, um, lots of loose ends, lots of different things that I could touch both professionally and personally. And so I just wanted to spend some time today. It's a Sunday, just looking at my week ahead. So the question that I'm asking myself is, what activities or one activity maybe would be the most leverage for me this week that my attention to that will have the biggest payoff, right? Okay, so I'm going to pause and take a drink of water, and I'm just going to encourage you to do the same, right? This is a well-being channel. Water, hot weather, summertime. Maybe you're watching this in the winter and it's cold. Drink some water anyway. Room temperature always for me. Okay. Yeah, super thirsty today. Okay, so let's switch back to the desk cam. I'm going to grab my markers. And here's what I'm going to do. And I just invite you to play along. If you feel like you have lots of things that you're up to, or if you're working with a client, if you're a therapist or a coach and you're working with a client who has lots of things that they're up to, we can do these different kinds of mapping. So let's call this a leverage map today. And let me switch back to the desk cam. Okie dokie. I've moved my emoji out of the way. So first, let's just label this. This is going to be a leverage map. I just had this moment of like, ooh, I hope I know how to spell leverage. I have an English degree, but I'm not the best speller. I think that's right though. All right, this is our map that we're going to It's like a magnifying glass so we can look at it. Okay. Leverage map. Okay. So what I had in mind was for me just jotting down doodles of maybe 3 to 5 different things that I can feel are kind of pulling at me a little bit, or a lot bit, and then look over all of them, see how I feel about all of them, and maybe finalize it with one thing in the center. You know how on a map you'll see like a highlighted area. We'll highlight the one that seems to be the most leverage. And I already think I know what that looks like, but it's going to help me to doodle some other things, to acknowledge that the thing that's the highest leverage is not the only thing on my mind and heart. So what I'm drawing here are books. These are supposed to be books. And I have um, some deliveries that need to go out. That's supposed to be a box. um, I need to do a bit of tracking on the books. I had made an order and a bunch of them came damaged, and my publisher ordered new ones for me, but that kind of messes up my tracking a little bit. So I got to go back in there and clarify all that before I ship these things off. I told the local bookstore owner that I would stop in there. I don't know how to draw a bird, but her bookstore is called Black Ribbon Books, and it has a bird sitting on top of a typewriter. It's a super cool logo, actually. Here we go. Typewriter. Okay. So, books, things that need to happen. And this is for Gramercy Books Bexley. That goes to my friend Denise, who handles those things for me in my hometown. This is Black Ribbon. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So I hope you're starting to, I'm indulging myself a little bit here, I'm realizing, but I'm hoping that you are starting to just make some notes of what's going on for you. I want to say that even just making this picture here, I feel more relaxed. Like I know that I want to take care of this stuff, but I don't think it's my highest leverage thing to be focusing on. But it was kind of like I could feel it in my body that there was something unresolved on this. So just getting it on the paper, acknowledging it, super helpful. All right, what is up this week? Toward the end of the week, we have here in my town where I live, a bunch of friends are starting to come and visit. One friend is coming all the way from North Carolina. I live in Arkansas. A bunch of friends are coming from Texas. It all starts happening this weekend. Today's Sunday. This starts Thursday. The first of my besties start to arrive on Thursday. So there are some things that I would like to get done before they get here. You know, go to Sam's Club and get some charcuterie. Um, so let's see, let's do like groceries. So that's celery stalk, a bag of groceries. There is a algae bloom warning. Um, so I want to look up the latest information on that and send it to my friends. Put like an envelope representing email going out seems important. What else? Let's see, let's make another box. Just other like various things, pool noodles, you know, just other things. Um, I guess Lake and Springs noodles. Other things that we may have said we were going to pick up for our friends. So, bit of shopping, bit of errands. Okay, that is definitely coming up this week, not until Thursday. It's not like everybody needs stuff and that we can't take care of it when we get closer. And by doodling that, I can tell that is the case because I'm getting it on paper. What else is going on for me? I do have a class, a live class coming up in just a few weeks. And this is a calendar. Did I get enough days in there? So working on filling that class. That is also email situations, computer time, doing some marketing. There's some Facebook posts, some marketing emails, maybe some phone calls to make. maybe some uh, other networking messages. I'll just put all that like that. Okay, upcoming class. What else is top of my list? Okay, the one that I have been really thinking about also that I haven't touched as much in the last couple weeks is something I'm frequently um, speaking to you all about, which is going to make like a diploma, right? So left to our own devices is my next class, left to our own devices um, is my next class, and I have revisions to complete on there. Mhm. So that I can get it submitted back to the social work board for national approval to provide continuing education on the topic. Can you tell it's kind of a pencil or a pen? Um, yeah, this is going to take some time and attention. I'm going to put a brain on there and my eyes focused, but also my heart. Because, as you may have seen in one of the more recent videos, I'm actually quite inspired on the topic, but it really is going to take some focused concentration. And if all the friends are coming soon, um, this may be a good time to work on this because I may get disrupted for a week or so starting soon. Okay, I think that's enough. What did I say? 3 to 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. Okay, great. And I'm going to put the camera back on me for a second. Okay, so are you doing a bit of a mind map for yourself right now? Just picking like 3 to 5 things that are right on top that seem like they need to be handled coming up, or they're all kind of pressing on you. Oh, I did think of one more thing. I knew there would be one more thing if I just changed the camera. I have one more thing to add. Let's add this. This will be helpful. Okay, at least it's helpful for me. So look for yourself. Is there one more thing? You can just mute me if you want to and work along with me here. Okay, the other thing is it is also calendar related. Um, Travel. I have some travel intended coming up, and I need to be looking at and booking flights, um, confirming where I'm staying. I have it, I think I know where I'm staying in one of the places that I'm going, but I don't know where I'm staying in the next place that I'm going. So there are like multiple steps along the way, and probably the first next thing is to look at flights. Okay. All right, there we go. Yep, that is the other thing that's right on top of my mind. So when you look at something like this, you see it's helpful, right? Because you can kind of see that's a lot to be managing maybe all at once. Come back to talk to me for a second here, right? So if I'm looking at this map and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major things that all need to be touched in the next week or so, what is going to be the best use of my energy, especially at the beginning of the week when ideally I have a little bit more energy. Although, as I mentioned, we're in very, very hot weather here right now. And I sort of have part of the day. I'm practicing siesta, but that's another conversation for another time. Okay, so let's come back to the map, and I'm going to share. I've already thought about this before I came on here, so I know which one seems to be the highest leverage for me right now. Maybe just if I'm looking at like, what's my Monday best leverage situation? Okay. So I think that my best leverage situation between getting my books shipped off and getting all that stuff up to date, uh, getting my new class or my current class marketed that's coming up in a few weeks and filled, getting my travel stuff in place, and then I've got my friends coming to town for visiting, anything I need to do to get ready for that. And then finally, this new class that's really going to take some attention. Okay, I think that the thing that would do me the best on my leverage map is this, left to our own devices. So, what would that look like for me? if I choose some focus on this. So maybe I can do just a little doodling on it. Okay, what would make a difference for me? Well, what would make a difference for me is just some consistent action. So maybe I choose something like, I love to do a little checklist. So let's say I'm going to do at least three, let's say I do three focus mate sessions, 50 minutes this week on left to our own devices. I don't know if I've told you all this, but a colleague friend of mine um, told me not to spend more than 6 hours working on a class. And I've been working on this class for like 6 months. But that's okay because I'm leveraging it. This is going to be something that I can use into the future that's going to make a difference for people that I can put on my website and people can watch it and I don't even have to be there. Leverage. That's what I'm talking about here. That really giving some attention to this thing, even though the quicker dopamine may come from doing other things, or I could cross off some like immediate stuff off my list. But am I going to forward the thing that's going to make me the most difference in the long run right now? I believe it is this devices class. Now, does that mean I'm not going to do anything else this week? No, that absolutely doesn't mean that. And in fact, now that I've made this map, I can see what will be important to me for the rest of the week, but I am choosing what's going to make the biggest difference for me. Now, as we know, we'd like to ask that question, what's likely to get in the way of this? And I would say what's likely to get in the way is I might get distracted. If I start looking at all the other stuff, so I think the rule I want to make for myself is to make a difference and plan ahead is if I want to touch one of these other things, I need to have done one of my focus mates on devices first. I like that. I like that. So it can be a sort of a one and one if I really want to. I don't have to, but that would be a nice way to, those other things can be rewards for the good work done over here. Okay, back to me again. All right, so I have made this map now. This made a difference for me. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is what we do here. We process with crooked lines. We take messy doodles and we get what's going on in our brains and our bodies out onto the page, that we're more embodied with it so we can see clearly what we're trying to manage. And then we can even make some plans, right? All right. Yeah, I think I want to do just some other little really distinct, whoops, I turned my camera off. Um, some really distinct something that tells us that this is the treasure, that the treasure is, let's just go, we'll just point directly to it. How about that's what we have discovered on the leverage map, that this is the place we want to land. Yeah. Left to our own devices. That's where we want to land. Wonder what we're going to talk about on this channel when I finally finish the class. Okay, ready for the emoji, friends? Okay, so remembering, this is how I felt at the beginning of this session. Let me turn this page over because it is distracting now. Let's get some clear paper. Okay, when we started, I was feeling like this. I was feeling a little bit kind of nervous, it looks like, kind of mellow, glad to be here. It's such a cute picture. I love it. Okay, so the Outmoji, that is the second part of the Doodle data collection. How do I feel at the end of doing something? This is kind of a long video today, isn't it? Okay, Outmoji. I am feeling awesome, and I usually am when I finish these videos. Yeah, I feel really good. My body actually feels totally peaceful now, much more grounded. Um, it's like I can look ahead confidently. I know what there is to do now because I mapped it out and I chose. And that makes future me really happy too. All right, so we went from this data, taking the data. This was the change. That's where we started. Super cute. This is where we finished. Definitely looks a little more energized, a little more, I don't know, peaceful and having fun. So, all right, let's go back to me one more time here, one last time for today. So, what else do I need to tell you? Do the subscribe thing if you like this channel. The most important thing I think is that you play along, right? Grab your blank paper, grab your crayons or your markers or your stub of a pencil, whatever you have, and you too can make a leverage map. What seems to be important to you, what's hanging over you for maybe the week ahead or the month ahead or the season ahead, and look over all of it and see what would make the most difference. Then you can ask yourself, what's going to have me do that? What's going to have me be successful? What might get in the way? And what could I do about it? Yeah, awesome. Okay. This is Karen Channing. This is Crooked Lines. In the description, I will put information about classes that you can take with me, books of therapeutic doodle prompts that you can find both for grown-ups and kids. I think that's about it for today. Grateful to be here. Love doing Crooked Lines videos. And it didn't even show up on my map because actually this video was also, that would have been the sixth thing that was kind of hanging over me as I really wanted to make a YouTube video. Whether or not it leverages something for me, it leverages my energy because it was kind of knocking on my door. It's really pulling on me. I really wanted to have this complete today so that I could dig into that week ahead. So thank you so much for letting me process this out loud with you. I can't wait to see what you make, and I'll see you back here on Everybody Do the Dance. Come on, Crooked Creators. We'll see you back here on Crooked Lines. I love you. Bye bye for now.